Welcome to today's episode of AMA, Ask Me Anything at Raw Fitness. My name is Danny, head trainer at Raw Fitness, and I will be taking questions submitted by our clients and attempt to answer them. I'm about a week past needing a haircut, haven't shaved in a few days. My leg is a little wonky because I'm running a lot more, so I'm a hot mess right now. Nonetheless, I progress and move forward. So last few weeks have been really fun answering questions. They've been okay. We'll see what they look like this week. Our first question today comes from Kayla. Kayla asks, if I can only make it to the morning training sessions 2 out of the 3 times offered per week, what 2 days are the best? So Kayla, I would recommend that you look at your schedule and see what days you are always the most rested from the prior evening. So if you have a typical Monday through Friday schedule, I'm assuming that Sunday is your day off, and that's probably when you're going to get the most time to relax and ease into your evening and get a good night's sleep. If you are like a bouncer at night or, work UPS overnight, you never know what kind of schedule you're going to have, then you got to kind of pick and choose and wait to see what your week is going to play out like. But definitely go by when you're the most energetic. If you come in and you're all groggy, it's no fun, you're no fun, and I'd rather not have you there. But no, I'm kidding. I would love to have you there anytime. I'll even let you sit in the corner and take a nap if you have to. But yeah, point is, come in when you feel the most rested, and that should be what you get the most out of. Cool. Have you ever worked out in the morning?
At 5:30?
Yeah. No? It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. I've worked out in the morning and I'm like, oh. It is. There are some people who work out first thing in the morning and they're like, that's how I get my day started. I love it. I feel good. And other people, they're like, I hate it and I feel like crap about middle of the day. It's just 2 different types of people, man. Moving on. Our next question comes from, actually it's a combination of 2 different clients' questions that are basically the same thing. So we put them all together, it looks like, and we'll see how this goes. So Megan and Tim both are basically asking the exact same thing. Which exercise do you love? Which do you hate? And why do you make yourself do it? Well, Tim and Megan. Tim again? Okay.
He's his favorite.
Shh. All right, Tim and Megan. So my favorite exercise of all time in the world. When I was younger, I used to love bench pressing because that's just what every high schooler does. Throw in some curls, and that's all you really needed. That's how we got ready for football. We had some of the strongest chests out there, some of the biggest biceps out there, but we just had no leg strength. But I digress. So when I was younger, I did a lot of barbell training, a lot of just random heavyweight stuff, and a lot of curling, a lot of arm, shoulder stuff. Now I really love doing total body work. That's why our training program is designed the way it is. You put all the movements together and you get a well-rounded workout. And that way you can really just get the most out of each session. There's very few exercises that I actually hate because knowing what I know they're good for me even though they suck in the moment. But if I had to pick one exercise that I truly hate, that's a good question. Which one? Yeah, it's interesting, huh? Okay, you've seen me working out. Which one do I grunt the most in? Which one? Okay, bad question. Which one do you hear me cuss the most during? I would have to say that barbell back squatting is probably my least favorite. And it's also one of my favorites. Now, the reason that it's my least favorite is because I deal with a lot of knee issues, and I'm constantly having to do the workout. I like to go heavy with barbell back squatting. I do the workout. If something flares up, I have to baby it and take care of it for a few days, do a little self-care around the joint. So it's kind of like this back and forth. Some days feel great, and other days I just have to back off. So that's the love and hate relationship that I have with barbell back squatting. In a perfect world, I would never had this knee surgery that I got when I was 18, and I would never had problems, and I just squat all day long. But yeah, it's probably barbell back squatting is the most difficult one to really get into in terms of not feeling like crap afterwards sometimes. But again, it's not a technique thing. It's my joints have just taken a lot of beatings over the last 20 plus years. So yeah, I know, and I love I love getting into, I love when things are feeling good because like I can push relatively heavy weight. It's great, but on the days where my joints are talking to me, it's not good. A little side note to that is that running is kind of that same thing. I have a love-hate relationship with running, which I'm getting into a little bit more these days. And it's that same thing. Some days the runs feel great. Other days, because I do so many different things, I teach group fitness classes and I do all kinds of different workouts. Some days the runs feel amazing, and other days, stuff starts to tighten up and I have to do a little self-care. So yeah, there's nothing that I really hate, but there's love-hate relationships because of the things that I have to work around. So the exercises that I love now, it's not really any one exercise. I love, as I mentioned, the total body work, the combination movements that we do. I think one of my favorite ones, if I have to pick one, I like doing power movements. The dumbbell clean and press, I really like. It's just an easy way to get power development without having to deal with the barbell and all the things that come with that, all the technique stuff that comes with that. You can get away with a little bit more with the dumbbells. So yeah, I think dumbbell clean and press is probably one of my favorites. Our next question comes from Alana. Alana asks, how did you come up with the name Raw Fitness? Well, I got chafed really bad one day during a workout. No. Okay, fine. It's after my marathon runs. In its current state, Raw Fitness is really just about, mastering the fundamental movements of the human body, keeping things very simple, but gaining strength in that simplicity. So that's kind of where we're at with it. We do mostly body weight type exercises, but we do load things with like dumbbells, kettlebells, and things like that. But yeah, in its purest form, it's all about just the basics of strength training. The actual name, when it first got started, was all about kind of what we had at the time. When I first put the program together, I was given very little at the gym that I was working at, and I kind of set myself up for that. I asked them to use some warehouse space that they had that they weren't using. There wasn't much in there, so we just did what we had to do. We would, I would program a lot of exercises that were body weight based. I would program things like flipping tires. We'd use sledgehammers to hit the tires. We'd just find random things around the warehouse to pick up and, carry around. So yeah, it was very raw, if you will. I mean, even the state of the warehouse that we were using was dirty in there. So it was kind of a gimmicky type thing, I guess, when I look back on it. It wasn't meant to be, but that's kind of the inception of that name was, not having anything in terms of training equipment, using what we had, and just really kind of going old school. If you think of like the old Rocky training videos, or there's stories of high-level athletes way back in the day that would do things like push cars and just kind of like anything that was at their disposal. That's kind of where that started. We may even go back to that. I think I'm going to release some chickens in the gym and start having people chase them around. I think I'm going to have some of my clients like wax my car. I think that's a really good shoulder workout. So be on the lookout for that. I think it'll be really fun. My car's going to look really great, and you guys will be in like the best shape of your life, I promise. And occasionally we'll get chafed, but that's if we're working outside and it gets really hot and things like that. That's all right. Lotion. Do you use lotion for chafing?
I don't think so. I'm no expert.
Is there any more questions? Look up another question right now. You know what? We're gonna keep going with this. I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling it. My mom asks, when are you gonna give me a grandchild? This was like totally live, not live, but like this one's like just on the spot, not even written down. I can't even read it. My producer is going to ask me a question, and I don't even know what it is.
Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Dan Hartman, again. I don't actually hate you for making us do squat thrusts, but tell me why it's so taxing. Science.
Oh.
Science me, please.
Science. Oh, without getting like... All right. So Dan it's a good question. So at Raw Fitness, we do squat thrusts versus burpees. Now there is a major distinction between a squat thrust and a burpee. The major distinction being that in a burpee, you go down chest to floor, and in a squat thrust, you just come down to a plank position whenever you kick your legs back. Also, I don't make my clients jump. That's a totally different rhyme and reason behind it. But nonetheless, the reason that we do squat thrust versus burpees, which isn't the question, but I just want to distinguish that, is People sometimes don't have the best technique whenever they're doing a push-up, which is essentially what a burpee is. It's a controlled descent into a push-up position. So we work on the push-up position, but with control. Whenever you're doing squat, thrusts, and burpees, things are going fast, and it's very easy to lose technique on that. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, why was he asking why they suck so bad?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, Dan. Why they suck so bad? So here's the thing. You are taking your entire body through open space dynamically. You're moving down to the ground, controlling that descent. You're putting yourself back into essentially a squatting position. And in your case, which I've seen you do your squat thrust, you usually add a jump at the end. You're taking all that mass and moving it dynamically through space. So that requires a lot of energy. Somebody who is maybe 100 pounds lighter than you are will have less of an issue with it, but for big guys like us, yeah, they're gonna suck. They suck for most people because most people aren't used to throwing their body through open space like that. So that's just, for me, a good conditioning tool. There's no easier way to add resistance to movement than just throwing your entire body into it. So yeah, it sucks because we are big guys and it's always hard for us to move. It's the same reason why bigger guys like us always suck at running. You're having to use a lot of energy to move through open space. In terms of running, you're going for distance. In terms of a burpee, you're going to the floor and back up. So yeah, that's why it sucks. If you want to get better at them, keep doing them, get conditioned. And if you're lighter, if you lose some weight, they'll be a little bit better. Also get stronger too. Yeah. So combination of things. Strength, overall body weight, and endurance is going to make you better at them. But if you don't want to work on any of that, then you're just going to keep sucking. Cool. All right, so that wraps up this week's edition of Ask Me Anything. I even threw an extra bonus round in there because I was feeling pretty good. Yeah. So we'll see what we have next week. We have some on the docket. Yes. We need more? Yes. Submit your questions to me, please. I'm going to ask people out in the public who aren't our clients to start asking questions. It doesn't matter what they are. Just ask me, and maybe I'll answer them, maybe I won't. But yeah, let's see how this goes. I will see you guys possibly next week. Possibly. Yes, we'll be here.